Hey there, Dr. Ryan Hetland here. Welcome to today's 3-minute seminar. We'll try and fit all this in here in a relatively short period of time, but the topic I wanted to talk about today is don't just sit there. The average adult sits 8 hours a day. That's a long time. So there's a dramatic problem with that when it comes to bodies, like organ damages to the heart, pancreas, colon, things of that nature. I have notes here that I want to make sure I cover. Muscle degeneration, leg disorders, trouble in the top part of your neck, mainly because of the posture in which most people sit, where they're sitting at the computer forward, which is creating a problem at the top of your neck, even in the bottom of your neck, jaw issues, bad back by the way we're sitting, a laundry list of problems from just sitting. So don't just sit there. I'm going to give you 5 tips, maybe even more than that, that will help. One thing that just comes to mind that's not even on here is these things called Fitbits. My wife is super motivated by these Fitbit things, and I'm giving it a try here, but it tracks your steps, tracks more than that. Go check them out. But, you know, at least get 10,000 steps in a day. How would you know if you got 10,000 steps? Don't guess, test. Get one of these little things, and it will tell you. You can get an app. It'll tell you when you reach 5,000, and try to get up and move. Try to get a certain amount of steps in when you're at work. So in the 8 hours, 9 hours you're at work in the day, some of you work longer, try to track your steps then. Don't just not walk all day and then when you get home try to get the 10,000 in. Make a goal to get a certain amount of steps in while you're at work, meaning taking breaks to get up and walk. One of the things is try to sit on a wobbly surface where some people, there's those stability balls that are filled with air. You could sit on that for a certain period of time. At my office here, we've got these things called Wobble Chairs. You can order these online. Message me if you want help finding these. But you can just sit them on your chair. Make sure that you're at the right height, lower the chair. But then these can wobble, and that'll get the disc moving a certain amount. And that's super helpful. We have people do this for low back rehabilitation purposes several times. The other thing to do is to stretch the hip flexors from sitting a long time. The muscle called the psoas muscle from your spine in your back going and attaching to your leg gets short. It gets short from sitting 8+ hours a day. So one great stretch for you to consider is getting into a lunge position, putting one leg forward. Let me see if I can back up so you can see this. One leg forward, one leg back, and lunging like this, keeping your spine neutral, and dropping down. You'll feel this hip flexor from your leg up into here, and if you kind of, I'll show you from the front, if you kind of do this, you can stretch away from it and even more flex that. Do it on both sides, of course, where it's like you're getting an equal amount of do that as a stretch. That'll be great. Obviously, walking. If you're sitting at home, sitting at the office, and then you go home and you sit there as well, get up during commercials, go for a walk. Just have to get up and move. You don't want to sit all day. You really don't want to stand all day. I've done a video on that before already as well. But just that alternation between sitting and standing. And then there's trying some different yoga poses. You can Google these things, YouTube, other things where they show some yoga poses where you're arching your back inwards and then arching it outwards just to get that movement. And just keeping in mind what the right posture is when you're sitting. You want to have 90-degree of your legs from your front, the bottom of your leg to the top of your leg. You want a 90-degree. And you want your back in posture, in zone. You don't want to be like forcing yourself all day, and you don't want to be hunched all day either. So right in the middle would be a good balance for you to think of. You want the screen to be at your eyes level. Now I'm not sitting at my desk a lot. I have a stand-up desk. You can look at different video footage of my office scenario. And this is okay for me for short periods of time, but the screen is quite low. I wouldn't want to be sitting at this setup ergonomically for 8 hours a day. I would want that screen higher, up more at my eye level, having my keyboard be at a nice height so that way you're not Like if the chair was too low, you can see how my elbow's up, and if the keyboard's here, I'm having to do this. This height of my chair is not good. And so you need to raise that height up. Now this works well for me, but say you had a chair that didn't raise up high enough to the level you needed to and you were suffering because the chair was too low. Go buy a new chair. Get rid of that one, sell it on Craigslist or wherever, and get rid of it and get a new chair. Invest in these things because you're worth it and you're sitting there for a long period of time. I went over my time frame, but I think this is so valuable for you to understand. Feel free to comment, ask me questions. I'll do future videos based on people's questions. I'm happy to know what's on your mind. And share, comment, like, do all that stuff. Hope this was helpful for you. Have a great day.